So the Google Pixel 11 Pro is definitely Google's most pro smartphone camera yet, but the updates to this camera are less obvious to someone who's a casual user and are very important to someone who's really into smartphone photography. And I think that's the reason why this camera is getting a little bit of hate online. So let's talk about it. And big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So whenever I get a new smartphone camera to try out, like this Pixel 11 Pro, I'll typically do a simple first test, like taking it out on a bike ride or something like that. But after this initial test, I immediately knew the Pixel 11 Pro was better than its predecessors. So today we're going to talk about what that big upgrade is that makes this an actual pro smartphone camera, and also talk about all the other great improvements that have come to the Pixel 11 Pro. So welcome to another episode of Photographer vs. Smartphone, a series where I take my 10 years of photography experience, apply it to the latest smartphones to help you figure out what's actually an upgrade and what's just marketing. So if you're into more of a creative perspective and artistic perspective on tech, consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's get back to the studio. Now with the Pixel 11 Pro, there are two main hardware updates that we should start with. The first is the improved telephoto lens. We have a larger sensor, and right off the bat, when you look at the photos from this telephoto lens, they look sharp, they look good, they look like a modern smartphone camera on par with the iPhone and the Samsung S26 Ultra. Nothing that's necessarily going to blow you away, but they are very good. I like the detail, I like the way they look. But something that did catch me by surprise that is a big upgrade from Google is the focus distance with their telephoto lens. Now, if you've caught other smartphone videos on this channel, you know historically I'm not the biggest fan of smartphone telephoto lenses because typically they're marketed basically as telescopes. They're used to see something that's far away, and they're not used in more of a traditional telephoto sense, meaning something to capture detail and something to capture compression. Now with the Pixel 11 Pro, Google said they have improved the focus distance with this telephoto lens, and they definitely have. I did this test in this bookstore where I was very close to the bookshelf that I made a picture of, and notice how much detail is in the books. They're easy to read. These images look like telephoto images that you would make with a traditional camera. Being able to capture something that's not super far away but right in front of you to get that detail is what you would want from a telephoto lens, and that definitely caught me by surprise with the Pixel 11 Pro. And I made another quick example of a street sign, also something that was pretty close to me, and I was really impressed by the fall off and the bokeh on the background to these images. There was a lot of compression, the sign was readable, but the background was blurry, and these images looked like telephoto images that you would make with a traditional telephoto lens. So Google did a great job with that telephoto lens, and this is something that across the board people will notice. The second big update is to the main camera. We have a larger aperture of f1.68, so theoretically more light can enter into the camera, meaning better low light performance. So I took the camera out to this park north of Atlanta at Blue Hour, and once again I was pleasantly surprised by these images. In this photo of this awning, the detail is solid. There isn't that traditional low light night issue that we see with smartphone cameras where there's a lot of over sharpening, strangeness in the highlights and shadows. The image is pretty much perfectly exposed, and same thing with this Blue Hour image. I think this is very satisfying, and I don't know if you would know right away if this was made with a phone or a point and shoot camera. Now these low light images is the first example of a weird discrepancy with Google Images. You see, if you're someone who gets this phone right out of the box and goes to this exact same situation, you might feel underwhelmed making pictures as JPEGs because of all the processing that happens in these Google phones. Google, like all smartphones, uses computational photography to try to balance out the highlights and shadows. But what I found in these low light photos is that this computational photography and this processing actually worked against the quality of your image. For example, in this bridge photo, we have a lot of noise and grain on the underside of the bridge because the phone is trying to bring the shadows up, whereas the raw file looks perfect. You can really bring down those shadows. They're nice and dark, and you get that silhouette look that you would want if you were making this photo. With this food truck image, the same thing is happening. The food truck is kind of noisy and grainy in the JPEG because of that processing, and the raw file looks great in my opinion. So this creates kind of an awkward situation for the user and me making these videos, because if you're someone who just gets the phone out of the box and starts making low light pictures, you will notice improvements, but the improvements really start showing up when you use the camera more seriously and you understand how to process DNG files and use the RAW mode on the Pixel 11 Pro. Now, there have been a few software updates that are designed to enhance the photography experience. One is instant night shift, so whenever it's too dark to make a traditional exposure, the phone will automatically go into this long exposure mode, which I was very skeptical of, but I made this test photo in my kitchen of this flower and it came out really nice. I was surprised that it was able to make this photo. There's some bokeh and blurry backdrop. Obviously, it's not the most contrasty image, but it essentially was made in the dark. You also have the update of Magic Capture, which I thought was kind of stupid. You're basically taking a video and it turns it into photos for you. But I think the most practical way this can be used is for selfies or group photos, where you just hand the photo off or set it up yourself, make the video, and then the phone gets the pictures that look the best. This one was actually pretty cool of me. Now, the final software update that I personally love is the addition of Looks to the camera app. So when you click on your edit button, you can go to Looks and you can choose from a number of different profiles that basically put almost like a filter on your image. Now, Apple has done something like this previously, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it because I didn't see a use for it. With the Pixel 11 Pro, however, these profiles feel a little bit more thought out. They seem like things that are actually usable and something that everyone would want. So you have default that has a drop down for original, neutral, shadows, or vanilla. Then you can swipe over and you can get more intense looks. So you can get editorial, which is very contrasty. You can get velvet, classic, digi, black tie, which is a contrasty black and white, and the winner here, minimal. Now, remember earlier when I said Google's processing was in a lot of ways kneecapping their low light photos because the shadows were really blown out and they were adding in a lot of noise and grain that didn't have to be there. With minimal processing, you create a photo that is a JPEG that replicates more of the look of a RAW file, meaning you're not going to have this computational element where your shadows are perfect and in some cases actually blown out and adding noise and grain to your photo because that processing isn't happening with this camera look. And given the current state of social media and the world, people want less processed images. So I think Google did a great job here of listening to what people actually want when it comes to images from their smartphone and giving them that option very easily. And with that said, experimenting with this minimal profile brought everything back full circle to that initial test I did when I was out on a bike ride. And this is where the video gets a little bit photography nerdy, but this is really relevant information if you want to get the most out of this phone and understand why Google has done some really cool stuff. Now, real quick, if you're someone who is serious about photography and you don't have a website, I can't recommend it enough. My website, evanranft.com, is built with today's sponsor, Squarespace, and it allows me to do a number of things. First of all, people can get in touch with me through my contact page. I can also sell products like my presets as well as my photo books, and I can host my portfolio on my Squarespace site. And if you're someone who's kind of tired of social media algorithms, you can consider building a blog or a newsletter to connect with your audience outside of social media. And one great thing about Squarespace is their templates are so easy to use. They're drag and drop. They have tools like Fluid Engine. They have AI tools to help you build your website, and Squarespace has Squarespace payments, so if you're doing e-commerce, you don't even need a third-party payment processor. Now, I have a video on this channel breaking down how I built my site on Squarespace. It's linked in the description under a tab called Website Resources, so you can follow that and copy it if you want. Now, if you want to try out Squarespace for yourself, you can go to squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start a free trial and use code EvanRanft to save 10% at checkout. That's squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start a free trial and use code EvanRanft to save 10% 10% at checkout. Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Now, where was I? The biggest change to the Google Pixel 11 Pro has to do with raw file processing. Now, in the past, especially with the Google Pixel 10 Pro, when I made wide angle and telephoto images and brought the raw files into Adobe Lightroom, for whatever reason, there was a ton of processing added to these raw files, making them somewhat unusable if you didn't have presets or an understanding of picture profiles and you were able to change it. To this day, I'm not exactly sure what was causing this on these Pixel 10 Pro images, but you can see in these examples, they're very glowy. And when you would bring those images into Lightroom, under Profile, you would see Google Pixel. Now, with the Pixel 11 Pro, you have Google Embedded Camera Profile. So you have a different processing pipeline being applied to these raw files. And this changes everything because it makes these raw files extremely easy to use, even if you're someone who is a beginner. You can just bring these raw files into Lightroom Mobile and begin editing them and experimenting with them without having to have knowledge of other picture profiles and knowledge of how to work around these issues with previous Pixel raw files. Now, admittedly, on the Pixel 9 Pro, I didn't have this problem as much. I just noticed it primarily on the Pixel 10 Pro, but regardless, it seems to have been fixed. When it comes to Google Raw images, I've always been a fan of the colors. Google phones have really nice color science to them. This image, the colors look so beautiful. The preset that I put on this sticks to this like a tree frog, and it's so easy to transform your image, but it's much more challenging if the picture profile isn't working the way it should. So bravo to Google for improving these raw files. They are absolutely beautiful, but back to what I said at the beginning of the video, you got to know a little bit more about smartphone photography to really be able to take advantage of this. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.